Hello you fantastic people, and welcome back to Borderlands 3 to have another super exciting video for you guys. I have killed Aurelia 50 times on True Vault Hunter mode at Mayhem 4 to try and find the Mayhem 4 dedicated drops. This little series I have going, I think I'm on number 9 now, of killing every named boss in Borderlands 3 50 times on Mayhem 4. True Vault Hunter mode is pretty relevant other than just making it slightly difficult for myself because, you know, why not? But Mayhem 4 dedicated drops came in about a week ago. They added new weapons, just randomly scattered between the named bosses in the game, and essentially didn't say where they were, and we just have to try and find them. So I thought I'd make a little series, kill them 50 times, try and find the new weapons that you can only find on Mayhem 4. You can't find it on Mayhem 1, 2, or 3, and you can't find it on no Mayhem modifiers. There are dedicated drops for the game for, like, you know, the Lucian's Call, the Hex, etc., both of which we've found, and there's a video for that if you guys are interested. But those are dedicated drops you can find on normal mode as well, on any Mayhem modifiers, etc. But these ones are specific to Mayhem 4. And today I have killed her 50 times to also compare the legendary drop rates, including the world drops, to all the named bosses, the amount of anointed drops, the amount of class mods, the amount of artifacts, etc. To essentially be able to compare all the named bosses at the end of the game, at the end of the series, sorry, to see who drops the most legendary weapons, to see who drops the most anointeds, because that's the main thing I'm hunting for right now, who drops the most class mods, which is a really hard thing to find in this game, and just who is generally the best all-around legendary boss to fight for legendary weapons. Now for Aurelia, she can be a super annoying, super difficult boss to fight in a lot of circumstances. I've done a lot of these so far, so I'm currently stacked with a lot of good gear. And you guys will be happy to know I finally got a bang stick that is worth using so that I can crit swap to the Unforgiven, because I'm pretty sure every other question in my comment section for the last week is use the bang stick and switch to Unforgiven for crit hit damage. And you guys are right, it was amazing. It's a fantastic duo, but I just didn't have a bang stick this whole time. So now I've tried it out, it works, it shreds her. I'll show you guys how that works in a second in game. But if you guys don't have one of those because they are kind of annoying to get, the Lucian's Call works amazing, especially with the ricochet ability. Takes out all the annoying little bandits that come out as well, which, by the way, so annoying. I don't know if you guys saw the Tyrene video, but I was complaining about how annoying the Varkids are in the Tyrene boss fight, because they're just small, they have way too much health, and they do way too much damage in Mayhem 4. It's disgusting. They're actually more annoying to kill than Tyrene herself. It's pretty much the same with the bandits in this situation. They seem to be stronger and better at running away than any other bandits I've ever fought, because every time I died, it wasn't because of Aurelia, it was because of a bandit trying to run away, and I couldn't kill it in time. Regardless, I also had a Rowan's Call, which works amazing. Shield's actually pretty decent to get rid of. The Rowan's Call just shredded through it. Other things I used as well was a Handsome Jackhammer. The Devoted also shredded through it. I had a Cutsman at one point, I put it away though. All of them work well. Just a good shock weapon will destroy that. I threw a couple grenades. I have a grenade that is a Stormfront. At the action skill end, gain 50% fire damage. So I threw for 10 seconds with weapons, by the way. I threw a couple of those at the start, shredded through her shield, and then by the time it was done, I switched to my fire weapons and it shredded through her health really quick because I had the added fire bonus. Now I know a lot of people will either be way more stacked than I am, and I know a lot of people will be way less stacked than I am. So for the people who don't have all this amazing gear, you don't need it to get through the fight. This just does it the absolute fastest way possible. So if you guys have 1 out of 10 of these items, you'll probably be able to rely just on that to get through the boss fight. Just essentially showing the loadout for anyone who wants to try and do it in the fastest time possible. Because when you kill a boss 50 times and it takes about 8 hours, you want to try and find the fastest way possible. Now, like I usually do, I won't run through the entire skill tree because that takes way too long. But if you guys want to pause it and essentially copy it or look through it for yourselves, you're more than welcome to. This thing absolutely shredded Aurelia, particularly this one right here. Extra projectiles per shot, +4 for my class mod. Even with just 5 points into this skill, it's fantastic. And then with +4, it's just filthy. The Lucian's Call shoots way too many projectiles. It's amazing. You get so many critical hits, and that results in you getting the action cooldown to come back super quick, and then you get your fade away again. But yeah, that is my skill tree loadout if you guys want to pause it. It is fantastic, my favorite build yet. And just quickly, for those who don't remember where Aurelia is, she is on Eden 6, all the way down in the Black Barrel Cellars. You'll have to run all the way through. Here is the fast travel location. You're going to run through all of these bandit areas, jump up this conveyor belt, keep walking, and then about here is where the fast travel station is, or the new station is. So you can just spawn in, jump down, and bam, you're in the boss fight where I currently am. It's actually a super easy run once you get past the first part. Now I just have a few runs showing on screen of me absolutely destroying Aurelia so you guys can see the technique slash strat I had. Essentially all I did was jump down with a Rowan's Call that's electric, absolutely shredded through her shields, maybe throw a Stormfront or two, and then go fade away once her shield is gone. Switch to the bang stick, absolutely unload as many sticky bullets as possible, while the fadeaway was still on. Just as that's finishing, I switched to the Unforgiven pistol, which has like 380% crit damage. So as they're exploding, it does a crazy amount of damage as long as I still have the pistol out. And then that usually gets her to the first immunity stage. She goes into that annoying little ball thing, switch to my Lucian's Call or anything with a high fire rate, break through the ball so she comes back out again. I use my Lucian's Call or my Rowan's Call to shoot her in the head a whole bunch of times, which got crit hits and then reduced my cooldown time. And then as soon as my fadeaway was back, switched back to my bang stick and I just hit on repeat until she was dead. And eventually it turned out to be a super fast boss fight. I could actually get her through 2 immunity stages with 1 round of fadeaway because the bang stick was still affecting her when I got her out of her little immunity bubble. Now into the stats, the legendary items that Aurelia drops from 50 kills on Mayhem 4 True Vault Hunter mode is 97 legendary items, which is pretty decent. It's not the best we've had so far. Graveward is still the #1 champion with 147 legendary items, then Tyrene at 146 and Troy at 141. All 3 of those are absolutely crazy, but considering Tyrene and Troy are 2 of the hardest boss fights in this game, they should be dropping a whole bunch, and then Graveward just has always dropped way too many. I don't really understand why, but those 3 guys are definitely still on top. But Aurelia is nowhere near as difficult as Tyrene and Troy, and definitely a shorter boss fight, so given the amount of time you put into it, Aurelia does actually drop a decent amount. As for the Anointed, she actually only dropped 10 legendary Anointed weapons, which is pretty low. Our top 3 currently are Troy at 25 Anointed legendary weapons, Gigabind with 22, and Tyrene with 20. She actually only comes in at second last, unfortunately. Chupacabra is the only one that's dropped less because he just drops no legendary weapons at all. But she actually lost to Kilovolt as well, who is a normal boss relatively. As for artifacts, she drops a decent amount at 13. Tyrene is still your #1 place if you guys are looking for artifacts. She dropped 19 out of the 50 runs. As for class mods, again, she's pretty decent at 14 class mods. Graveward is still #1 though at 16 out of the 50 runs, so definitely go Graveward if you guys are looking for class mods. On top of that, because he's just way easier to kill and a faster farm. And then on top of that, he just drops a whole bunch of legendaries as well, so you guys can collect multiple things at the same time. As for unsuccessful runs, I actually killed Aurelia 8 times and she didn't drop a single legendary weapon, which is pretty high. Graveward is still the best place to go for constant successful runs. He only had 3 runs that didn't drop a single legendary, so more than double for Aurelia. As for dedicated drops, I am super keen to tell you guys that there is a dedicated drop for Mayhem 4 for Aurelia. I found it today, I'd never heard about it, so I'm super keen to tell you guys. There is also a dedicated drop already in the game for Aurelia. It is the Frozen Heart Shield, which I'll show you guys in a sec as well. But the dedicated drop for Mayhem 4 that I found today for Aurelia is the Juliet's Dazzle, and it's actually a pretty decent assault rifle from Torg. The damage on this one, I think I got 2 or 3 out of the total runs, but this one's my strongest one. The damage is 1528. Accuracy and handling is pretty decent at 79 and 61%. Reload time is pretty quick at 2.5. Fire rate 5.77, which is pretty decent for a Torg assault rifle. Magazine size of 16. I've had one that was 22, but the damage wasn't as much. So it depends on what kind of build you guys are going for, which one you want to run for. The red text reads lights up the world. And the weapon damage on mine is 100% increase. I've had one that was 80% increase and 70% increase, so I'm pretty sure they all have some percentage increase. The splash damage radius is increased by 72 on my one, and killing an enemy automatically refills the magazine, which is an amazing bonus. I used it a bit on Aurelia and it's actually a really decent gun. It absolutely shreds through her shields and health pretty decently as well. Mine doesn't have any elemental types and I haven't had an elemental type drop yet. And upon searching it, there wasn't too much information because it is a new weapon that's only been out for about a week, but I couldn't find any elemental types for this Juliet's Dazzle. But if you guys do get this gun in an elemental type, let us know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what elemental types you guys got. But yeah, like I said, this weapon is actually really decent. I'd recommend you guys getting it. I'm going to be using it in the future for sure, especially against mobbing enemies, because killing an enemy automatically reloads the magazine and it actually does a decent amount of damage against Aurelia, let alone things like bandits and slaughterhouses, etc. So definitely going to be trying this one out. As for how the gun interacts in the game, it has bullets that ricochet or bounce off every surface and eventually explode because Torg weapons. But if you shoot it straight at someone, it does explode immediately and do splash damage or explosive damage, which is really, really strong. Now, as for the dedicated drop Aurelia has had from the start of the game, it is the Frozen Heart Shield and is actually a cryo-based shield because Aurelia is a cryo-based enemy. It is a decent shield actually, 8,300 capacity, and when depleted it releases a large cryo nova dealing 11,154 damage, freezing enemies. 30% of the Nova damage is returned as health. So cryo builds of Zane I feel like would work perfectly because you'd be doing a crazy amount of Nova damage with cryo particularly, and I know he has a bunch of cryo multipliers. Now, like I've done for all the other videos in the series so far of killing all the name bosses 50 times on Mayhem 4 True Vault Hunter mode, I left a comment pinned to the top of the comment section with the full list of the legendaries that we got from this run in order for each particular run. If you guys want to check that list out for yourselves, and if you guys are missing any particular weapons because RNG sucks and you can't manage to get it, I am on PS4. I've got a whole bunch of duplicate weapons. If you guys want to reply to that comment, I'll just reply in the comment section and just say, hey, I'm looking for this weapon, been struggling for ages because RNG sucks. I'm more than happy to send duplicates. I don't have duplicates of everything, but if I've got it, I'll message you and say, hey, add me, inbox me so I remember. And I usually send them within 2 to 3 days because it does take me a long time to get around through all the comments whilst making videos, etc. But I do eventually send them because I don't need 4,000 weapons, and if you guys are struggling to get them, I am more than happy to send them to you. But yeah, that is all I have for Aurelia 50 times True Vault Hunter mode Mayhem 4, and I'm so keen that we found another dedicated drop. I'm going to continue this series and try and find all the dedicated drops on Mayhem 4. And if any of the dedicated drops that aren't Mayhem 4 specific are still not found by the time I finish this series, I'll change to normal Vault Hunter mode and find the rest of the dedicated drops for the community as well, because I'm absolutely loving this new update. It is fantastic. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video at all or found it helpful, I'd really appreciate if you guys could smash subscribe down below. We just smashed through 3,000 subscribers today, which is just absolutely mental. I can't really wrap my hand around it. We were on 700 1 week ago yesterday, which is just absolutely crazy. So thank you very much for that. You guys are fantastic. If you guys want to share the video with your friends and like the video, it really helps the channel grow even more beyond belief. But yeah, again, thank you very much for watching the videos and supporting my channel and myself. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a great day and adios.